I feel like a 10-second stupid video didn't really convey my thoughts on this trailer just enough, so here we go, an essay that I put more time and thought into than any essay I've ever written for English class. But before I start, I am aware that Nintendo has revealed Breath of the Wild's backstory, and believe me, I want to read it, but I'm not going to. Both Zelda Informer and Zelda Universe tagged their articles talking about it as major spoilers. I am taking absolutely zero chances with spoilers. With that said, if you comment on this video, whatever this backstory is, without tagging it as spoilers, I will remove your comment and will not hesitate to ban you if I believe it is necessary. Don't take that as a challenge either. Anyway, here we go. This trailer is absolutely perfect. As I said, I have never seen a better trailer for anything. I have never felt as much emotion watching a trailer, video game or not, than I have when watching this. I was watching it live, and the moment it started, I was in, well, not quite tears, but have you ever been crying but without tears? No? Well, whatever, that's what state I was in. As I've mentioned before, after the trailer that was shown during the Game Awards and the E3 trailer, I was physically shaking for half an hour afterwards. After this one, I went into my room and screamed into a pillow. I made a tweet about this a while ago, but the music for this trailer fits so well. It starts off calm, but the equally calm overworld shots gets more intense with the, well, more intense scenes, and transitions beautifully into a solemn state during the more emotional parts. I didn't actually know this, but Koji Kondo is not actually the composer for Breath of the Wild. Instead, it's Manaka Katsuoka, who worked on games such as The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks and Animal Crossing New Leaf. I'm not complaining, they both have amazing music, and I think she, yeah, it's a girl, was a really good choice. New Leaf's music gives off a calming atmosphere, and it has the same effect in Breath of the Wild, with the in-game music being mostly piano-based. But not only can she do ambient music, she's clearly a master of dramatic music as well, and this trailer shows that. It's my current belief that all of these trailers were made at once, or at least these past two. Seriously, whoever made them deserves a raise. The Life in the Ruins trailer did an amazing job of teasing the heck out of us, but still showing off new things, Zelda included. In that trailer, we never saw her face, as well as in the beginning of this one. The most we saw was her upper body and lower legs, with her hair hanging low as well. Nintendo knew we all wanted to see what she looked like. So what do? They put a huge music swell when she finally turns around. I've watched this trailer at least 15 to 20 times now, and every single time this part gets to me. The Legend of Zelda's music, well, really any dramatic music for that matter, has that kind of effect. If it isn't obvious, I love every single moment of this trailer, but Zelda has to be my favorite part. And I give huge credit to Nintendo for making this trailer so satisfactory. We were so cleverly teased in the last trailer in regards to her appearance and her role in the game, but now we know what she looks like, and I'm willing to bet she plays a huge role in this game, and that's really exciting to me. Just thinking about it gives me shivers. But you know what the best part about her is? She has character. I don't know if it's just a result of the voice acting, thoughts on that in a bit, but now she seems to have an actual personality. In the Link X Zelda Game Talk, I can't remember if I explicitly said this in the video, but who cares? I implied that Skyward Sword Zelda is my favorite because she has, quote, more of a character. This game is going to throw all of that out the window. Zelda's crying scene, same with her face reveal, always until forever will get to me. I cannot wait to learn the context for that scene, and if that
everything I've done up until now, it was all for nothing
line actually connects to it. If so, I'm going to cry, and if not, I'm probably still going to cry. This looks like a very emotional scene. The rain, the mud, Zelda's face, Link's face, look at him, he actually cares. The tone down in music, literally everything about this scene is amazing and heartbreaking at the same time. And shh, don't tell anyone, but I think we might get a little bit of romance in this game. Like, you can't just have a scene where Zelda is in a bathing pool and she has a dress on, you pervs, and not have Link at least be somewhat turned on by it. Tell me that that scene goes somewhere else that isn't a romantical direction. The game is literally rated E10+ due to mild suggestive themes. Nintendo absolutely knows how to get people talking, and this scene, and the trailer in general, does just that. They knew we wanted to see this. I think this tweet from Garrett Williamson says it the best. Quote, not to mention that they knew darn well throwing in a shot of Zelda throwing herself into Link's arms would freak out the entire fan base, end quote. So yeah, you can probably tell by the two clips in my video were those two scenes. I should probably talk about the voice acting now, as that's one of the things people seem to be most divided on. I like the voice acting. I like the idea of voice acting in Zelda, if it's done well. I can't wait to bump some dodongos! Actual voices with actual acting is infinitely better than text, at least in my opinion, and it shows way more emotion. Again, this tweet from Garrett Williamson sums it up pretty well. Quote, "I think that's what makes Breath of the Wild so interesting. It feels a lot more personal, and I think they decided to use voice acting to enhance that. If anything, I think the choice to incorporate voice acting shows us that this game is going to be much more cinematic than others in the series, and depending on what you want from a Zelda game, this may be a good thing." When the Switch presentation was live, the voice acting was done in Japanese because, well, it was in Tokyo, why wouldn't it be? I liked it then, it sounded pretty good, if a little dramatic for my tastes. However, the English version sounds a lot better. In my opinion, don't freak out. Maybe it's because I actually understand it, or maybe because it's just toned down a bit. I like the old woman's voice, the King of Hyrule's voice, presumably, and I really like the Great Deku Tree's voice. There's also another voice, but I'll get to that in a bit. But what about Zelda's voice? No, I don't like it. Maybe it's the hint of an accent, but something about it just doesn't seem right. She seems kind of older than I would expect her to sound. I don't know, I just don't like it. However, I'm 99% sure I'll grow to like it more in the actual game, but as of right now, I'm not that impressed. Except for the crying. The English version. The Japanese crying, that just sounds so weird, is so over the top, like anime levels dramatic. Obviously, I don't know how dramatic this scene really is, but she just wails. I saw a video, link in the description, called Zelda Crying in 7 Different Languages, and there was a huge contrast between the Japanese and the rest. The Japanese crying, again, just sounds so weird, is more like screaming, which I get. If you're really upset about something, you'll do some scream crying, but it was just too much for me, and I've seen other people say the same thing. However, I've also seen people say the reverse, that the English version has no emotion to it, and that the Japanese version is way better. Well, all I can say is that it's hard to judge how good the voice acting will be based on a couple of clips. No, I don't like it.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Hypocrite City.
I've also seen a multitude of posts saying, "I want an option to have the voice acting in Japanese because I'm a weeb with English subtitles." Or, "I want to turn off voice acting altogether." While I personally would keep the voices on and in English, I do think that this is a good idea. I think there's a certain appeal to listening to something in its original language. Unfortunately, Nintendo has now said that there will be no dual audio in Breath of the Wild. Do I have a problem with this? No, but would it really have been that hard to have that option? I don't know, I'm not a game dev, but people seem to be kind of disappointed. As I mentioned earlier, there's actually another voice that if you've only watched the English version, you might not have noticed. This line.
"I think you are now ready to hear what happened 100 years ago."
Before this, it is shown that the Great Deku Tree is talking, and the similarity between the voices may lead you and myself to believe that it's the same voice saying both lines. But listen to that scene in French.
Tu ne te souviens pas de moi, on dirait.
Mais à présent, tu dois savoir. Je vais te raconter ce qui s'est produit il y a un siècle.
There is a clear difference between the two lines. So who is this? I've seen some say that it's Ganon/Ganondorf/Calamity Ganon, or whatever he's called in this game. But by listening to that line, and the
"You must save her, my daughter,"
line at the end, still in French, side by side, they sound like they're coming from the same person, who is presumably the King of Hyrule. Again, this isn't so obvious in the English version, but it's still interesting. One of the things I like most about this trailer is that there's so many little things here and there that you'll have to watch it a multitude of times to get a lot of things, and even then, there's so much in it, you'll find a new thing every time. These are a couple of those things. First off, the music. I know, I'll make this quick. After the trailer was shown live, Josh from Really Freaking Clever made a post saying, "I need to watch that Zelda trailer a million times." I literally burst into tears when I realized that the main theme was playing. I didn't even realize that the first time I saw it. When the trailer was uploaded and it got to that part just after Zelda's crying scene, guess what? I started to no tear cry again. At the beginning of the trailer, it's fairly obvious that the little motif that they used in the first trailer, and maybe the second, I don't remember exactly, is used during the desert and snowy area shots. But it wasn't until the morning writing this that I realized that they used that motif again during Zelda's crying scene. Holy crap, this is an amazing trailer. Another thing, again pointed out by Garrett Williamson, seriously, just go follow him already, that the last shot before the title image is shown of Link all muddied and getting up isn't just him regaining his strength to get up and fight again, no. He's pulling out the Master Sword while Zelda stands behind him. It's not very noticeable until the last few, if not the last, frames before the title card. Again, I cannot wait to experience this cutscene with context. With this trailer giving us more story elements, a number of YouTubers, and just people in general, general have started making big guesses as to where this game takes place in the incredibly messy and annoying timeline. Problem is, there's so much conflicting information and there's so many places that it could be that are supported by small details sprinkled through the trailer. There's a shrine in the pool that Zelda is bathing in, and it looks like the goddess shrines that Zelda visits in Skyward Sword. This, I think, is the weakest piece of evidence, as these shrines could easily be unrelated to Skyward Sword. And honestly, I hope that's the case. Nintendo seems to really like Skyward Sword, and let's be honest, the fanbase doesn't as much, so I really hope they kind of break away from it. Second, the Koroks. These adorable little things have only appeared in Wind Waker prior to Breath of the Wild. This has led many to assume that the game takes place somewhere close to Wind Waker. But after or before? Wind Waker takes place after Ocarina of Time. Yes, I know there's the timeline split, but screw that. So does this take place in between? But then it's the Great Deku Tree's line of,
"That look on your face tells me that you have no recollection of me, however."
that makes it confusing. The Koroks with him suggest that this is after Wind Waker, but in that game the Great Deku Tree wasn't as important as Ocarina of Time. And then there's the Rito, and the Zora, and Gerudo.
Why is this so confusing?
But there's a lot more that we've seen that still works against it. If you thought there was a lot of evidence supporting Breath of the Wild's placement near Wind Waker, then hold on to your hats for a moment, because there's even more suggesting Breath of the Wild takes place after Twilight Princess. The most obvious nod to Twilight Princess is this scene in the Life in the Ruins trailer. We see a ruined fountain with a torn flag. This fountain looks a lot like the one in Hyrule Castle Town in Twilight Princess, but it's obviously been through a lot. The red flags throughout this trailer also look like the flags from Hyrule Castle Town. The bridge Link rides a horse across in the E3 trailer looks like the Bridge of Eldin. The town being set on fire in the Switch presentation trailer looks a lot like Hyrule Castle Town. Luckily, we may not be clueless forever. In an interview with Waypoint magazine, Eiji Onuma said this, quote, "I wouldn't say that it obviously fits into any one part of the timeline, but if you play the game, you'll be able to work out where it fits," end quote. Kind of a conflicting sentence if I do say so myself, but I'll take it. But then again, this timeline sucks, so who knows?
Who made this?
So yeah, I guess you could say I like this trailer. I suppose I'll buy the Switch so I can play it.
Who am I kidding? Wake me up on March 3rd.
Hey, thank you so much for watching all the way through this game talk. Wow, this was a long one. Anyway, if you liked it, leave a like and a comment to show it. And yeah, why not subscribe, follow me on Twitter, all that jazz. I'm the end of the video. Bye!